Welcome back to PokerNews.com. I am here with now two-time bracelet winner, Adam Freidman, who just took down the 10K Dealer's Choice 6 Max. Now, what's your go-to Dealer's Choice game?
Initially to start, if I had to say one game, initially to start the tournament while everyone's fairly deep, stud high-low, no qualifier. If you see one or two people that play the game completely incorrect, then there's just free chips. You don't have to do anything. It's just sit there and just hopefully you get a lot of the free roll opportunities. But as the tournament progresses, game selection is paramount in terms of choosing based on your chip counts, other people's chip counts, what you're got, and more importantly, maybe what your opponents aren't as skilled in particular.
So is there a good way to figure that out, like research-wise, or you just sort of have to pick the games and watch them play?
I just pick the games and play for the most part, unless somehow you get put at a table where everyone's picking the same one or two games. You want to try to keep mixing up to see what weaknesses you can find in your opponents. If you notice that maybe they're not as experienced in the split pot draw games like Badusi and Badesi, you want to keep firing those games away, because sometimes you'll see people that are playing hands where they have two spades, two clubs, but they're drawing to maybe a wheel for only half the pot, and they're already dead to half the pot. And sometimes if you're playing, let's say, with a lot of like great limit players, and then maybe you want to mix it up. You want to choose some of the more volatile games like Big O or even No Limit Deuce 7 or No Limit Hold'em.
Well, I noticed at the final table, those were sort of your go-tos, was Big O and Triple Draw to Deuce 7.
Big O was more of a key based on not necessarily what was my best game, because I would say Big O's not even, of the 20 games, it's definitely not my top 5 games in particular, but it was right based on situation. Like I've said previously, I've put a lot of thought in terms of what games to choose. Depending on where I'm at and where others are at, relatively speaking, at that moment in time. And if Big O's the game to choose, that's the game I'm going to choose. If my chip counts are larger or smaller, depending, other games are going to be choose. Now, I can't necessarily tell everybody what games to choose, because that's for me to know. That's for me to know and everybody else to figure out.
And tell me a little bit, like choosing the split pot games. Is that more of a strategy early in the tournament or later in the tournament? Because you want to be scooping those pots.
Again, it's very dependent in terms of where your chip count's at. Early on, if you see people are just they don't really have the basic understanding or fundamentals of how to play those games, then it's no different than really even choosing a game where it's just a one-way game. If you see people, for example, like in Badugi, if they're just 3-betting, 4-betting pre-draw, and you see them turning over kings and queens, and when they're getting check raised, once obviously someone made a 6 or 7 or 8, and they're not breaking, they're just going to pay off every time. Well, then you have to choose Badugi. Yeah. It makes it for a little bit more volatile, but a more profitable situation to people who can't fold hands when they're obviously beat.
And you made a joke to Jack when you accepted your bracelet. Next year, 25 games. What other games can they add to Dealer's Choice?
25. Let's go 30 games. One game that will definitely be added next year is Archie. That's being played more and more in the cash games.
I don't know what that is. Can you sort of quickly explain?
Yes. Archie's a triple draw game. It's a split. It's played just like Deuce 7 triple draw. 3 rounds of betting with discards. In order to qualify, you need to either make a pair of 6s or better in order to qualify for a high, or you need to make an 8 or better to low. So obviously, if you make a hand like Ace Deuce 3 4 5, that's the hand's going to always get the low and probably gets the high almost every time too.
Well, that's really fun. Well, you're now in the Deuce 7 triple draw right now, limit. So it seems to be your game. So good luck to you, and maybe we'll see you back up at the podium later this week.
That would be the goal. Thank you.
Oh, and also your mom's here.
Yeah.
Does she live in Vegas? Both your parents, do they live in Vegas?
For 2 weeks every summer, they live in Las Vegas. Otherwise, they've been happily married for 46 years in Columbus, Ohio. I hope I'm not off by a year. 46 years.
Well, that's amazing. That's nice to have like the love and support in the poker world and then at home.
Yeah, I've got the best family and friends who are always rooting for me to do well, no matter how good or how bad I do.
Also, like, congrats on them actually being here. The 2 weeks that they're here, you actually bank a bracelet, so that's amazing.
Yeah, I won this. Like, my parents just got out here a couple of days ago. I asked my dad, "Do you want me to delay the ceremony?" He's like, "Absolutely." So, here they are.
All right. Well, hopefully they'll stay here for the Deuce 7 ceremony when you take it down again.
That'd be awesome. So.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you very much.